Douglas. I'm 16 years of age. I'm going City College this year, first year, and I'm half Jamaican, half Canadian. I was born in London, in Clapham, then lived in Brixton till I was about 1, I think, and then moved to Norwich with my parents.
How was your upbringing?
My upbringing was in St. Lucia. I'm from the Windward Islands, and it was like every other young man in St. Lucia. It was not easy, but we managed to do the best we can.
What is your job now? What do you do?
Well, right now I own a Chez Denis restaurant and guest house in Norwich, but also I've got some apartments in the south of France which I rent out. I've got a villa in St. Lucia which I rent out also for tourists that want something special and different. The thing is to hard work and focus and get something that you really love doing. It's not all the way of saying that this is going to. You must love doing what you're going to do. If you love doing it, it doesn't become a job.
Equiano was brought up in a town called Esaka, which is in what's known as present-day Nigeria. And from his story, from his narrative, you can tell that he had a very typical an African upbringing. He loved his city, he loved his town, he loved his village, he loved his family, and I believe his father was quite an important man in village.
When he was enslaved, did he try to fight, escape, or anything like that, or did he just accept it?
It's a really kind of it's a really interesting question, but it's not really the best question to ask. What Equiano can tell you, he can tell you about that experience, and he tells he uses the narrative not so much to tell you whether he tried to escape or run away, but really to try and report for the reader, people reading his narrative, what it was like, so they could understand what it was like to be captured, what it was like to be enslaved. He was freed in 1766. His master, Captain Pascal, promised him freedom, but he refused to give it to him. He sold him to a Quaker called Mr. King, and he was in Montserrat. And this is where he was working, and he was doing actually very interesting work. It was kind of a very skilled job. He would be selling things. He would be counting things. So he had a skill. As I said, he could not have been put into the plantation because of the fact that he could count, the fact that he could do maths, the fact that he could speak English, the fact that he could read. Okay, he was too valuable to be an enslaved labourer. He became friends with very, very important people. His book, he wrote his narrative, and that was a sensation. People didn't know up until that point what it was all about. People were very ignorant of what slavery was. People were very ignorant of what it entailed. People were very ignorant of what went on in the Caribbean.
In your opinion, do you think he is a good role model?
I think he's an excellent role model. Okay, you have to consider the times that he lived in. He lived in a very dangerous time for people of African origin. Okay, most people of African origin had a life expectancy when they came out of them, when they were captured from African continent and taken to the Caribbean and the New World. Their life expectancy was like 7 years, and they had a life of horror. Okay, horror and violence. Okay, and here comes this guy, this man, this Equiano, and he opens up that world. He lets people know. He lets British people, white British people, know this is the world that you have created. This is the system you've created, and you need to know the horrors of it, and you need to stop it.
my local role model was Dennis Rosembert, and I chose him because he's from the Caribbean and parents from the Caribbean. He comes across as ambitious, and he knows what he wants. Like, if he wants something, he'll go for it, and usually he'll complete it. That's what he said. He told me that he sets a goal every 5 years, and for that goal he'll complete it. And I was pretty impressed by that, to be honest. My natural role model was Olaudah Equiano. He's brave, natural leader. When you want something, he'll go for it. Just a bit like Dennis. But what I've enjoyed most is the interviews, because the thing is, I've done interviews before, but I haven't really been that confident and when interviewing. But I don't know what it is, but I've been more relaxed, and I just really liked it. And yeah, the projects like this are important because you learn something new, and it's always good to learn something new. That's how people get through life, by learning new stuff and progressing.